What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Lost Records Journal, Player One vs. World's Lost Records Focus podcast. This is episode 30. I'm one of your co-hosts, Judge Riaz, and my co-host, the Eagles, the Ravens, whichever fusion he is today, Adam Evalt here.
I am here. I am here. Hopefully the computer doesn't shut down again while we're recording this.
Indeed, it could be like an electrical cut style, abyss style, turning everything off. But no, thank you. We are all back as well. This is our first officially recorded episode since the Olivia Lepore interview, and that was we put the reviews out in between it because we pre-recorded that and we had to move schedules around, but hopefully we're back on schedule as of now. But before we start as well, if you are new here, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, share with friends. If you do not subscribe to this channel, you know what's going to happen. Olivia Lepore is going to come back. She's going to sing Taylor Swift songs to you, and you're going to fall into the abyss. That's what's going to happen. She's going to walk down the aisle like Taylor Swift from the Eras tour. She's going to sing at you repeatedly, and you're going to fall into the hole.
Which album? Are we talking about Tortured Poets Society album?
Oh, we didn't actually ask her about that. Oh, that would have been interesting.
I know.
Maybe for next time we'll have to ask her about that because she's very much a hardcore Swiftie, so I wonder what she thinks about that. But yes, subscribe please as well because we have just crossed 1,800 subscribers. So thank you so much. We've had unreal growth in the last month. So thank you so much for that and help us get to 1,900 subscribers. And also, the Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So we're available on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts. Please do go and rate us and download us because you get instant access to your episode. You help boost our visibility. On Spotify, we now have 31 5-star ratings, which is amazing. And also we have 128 followers now on Spotify, which is insane as well. Again, we've had unbelievable growth in the last couple of weeks. And we're really thankfully and very much grateful about that entire experience. So yes, this is our first episode since the Olivia Lepore interview when we recorded it. I think we're recording the 3rd of May now. And we're hoping to record a Strange Cast as well. So it's a double header week. Let's just see how they go and which order they come out in. But firstly, thank you for watching the Olivia episode. It was amazing to see all the comments and see all the vibes and you guys to enjoy that. But I think we'll come back on to that later as well. I do miss Olivia Lepore right now. The Lost Records Journal feels incomplete without her right now because that was very much a big vibe that we had from that last episode. But again, thank you so much. And again, we'll come on to it later as well for all the praise. I think for Raid Records, you'll see why. But Adam, we've got quite a few topics here, so should we kick things off?
Absolutely.
Not absolutely fruitly. We're just doing absolutely.
Just absolutely today.
Setting the tone, aren't you, for the podcast, aren't you?
Yeah.
So Adam, interview. It's from Pocket Tactics. So it's chatting nostalgia, Riot, Girls, Punk, and David Lynch with Lost Records devs. So this was published on the 2 days ago. So this was on the 1st of May. It was published. This was done prior to Tape 2's release. Because, well, in classic fashion, both tape. Yeah. Okay. From what I can tell, the way that the interview's done, it seems like it's done before Tape 2. I think it's written in the way that they've played the game now. But this is an interview with scriptwriter Jean-Luc Cano, studio creative director Michel Coe, and studio executive producer Luc Baghadoust. So there's quite a few parts to this. I think we said we'd focus on 2 parts, Adam, of this interview because we've got quite a few topics. I wanted to bring out 2 of them, which I thought was interesting. So this is for about Swann. So it says you play as Swann in both 90s and 2022s, but her perspective is different in each setting. Third person in the past and first person in the present. What influenced this stylistic choice? And Jean-Luc Cano said, and I quote, this was something we decided very early in the game's development. In the past sections of the game, we are telling the story of a friendship forming, and we thought it was important to show Swann as part of a group surrounded by the other girls. But in the present, that group no longer exists. The first person view really amplifies that sense of isolation. Everyone is in their bubble. In their own bubble, in their own space. Jumping between those 2 perspectives helps emphasize the contrast between the 2 eras, which felt very true to the story we wanted to tell, end quote. So obviously, Adam, our theories died a painful death as well during the discussion that we did for the in the build up to Tape 2's release, and we thought Swann might be shown in a certain way. I like that perspective that Jean-Luc Cano gave on Swann being first person and third person, and it's nice to see it now in reflection. Because I really enjoyed playing Swann, and I always felt at the moment when you got her camera back in the present timeline and they show you what she looks like. I think she lifts it up and she shows herself as well. It's very. It just feels like it's quite layered and dimensional for how they're presenting Swann as an adult version. I'm just curious what you think about that perspective because I think that's one of the more fascinating elements that I found within the game as well.
Yeah, no, it is. Like I said, it makes it more natural. It just makes it more. Um, yeah, like it just made it more realistic. You can just tell by the way they're writing this that they took a lot of intentionality behind it. They took a
Mm,
lot of intentionality of like where the set is, how everything is portrayed. No, you don't really see that in just storytelling in general. So no, I
yeah.
feel really good about that.
Yeah, and I think it ties in with the ending as well because we've had this conversation for ages, and I don't think Lost Records has a bad ending, and I don't think it has a quote unquote good ending. I think all endings are equally weighted, but it's how you interpret them. And technically, the ending you got, which is the one where people like, I don't like this ending, it's bad ending,
Yeah.
where it's just Swann on her own. That kind of fits in with Jean-Luc Cano's perspective there, where it's like, it's about that first person, that isolation, being on your own, reconnecting, and it very much fits into that motif of where he's saying that that's why Swan's first person. And I kind of like that dimension that they brought in, the fact that she's very much like that introvert, deep seated person. You don't see her until the end of the game because it's kind of that reflection of like, oh, she's now kind of like again a whole person. And I think like first person is very important because I feel like with certain games as well, even with like Resident Evil 7 when they did the first person part of it, it feels like you project yourself onto that character and it makes it a bit more like, the experience heightens itself. And especially with Lost Records as well and the characters they write, Jean-Luc and Michel, Max and Swann very much are about projection. It's both, they have their individual personalities, but they are created as characters where you can project yourself, hence why people find Max relatable, even if you're like a 50-year-old man or a 10-year-old girl or a 15-year-old girl or a 25-year-old man. Like you can relate to Max in different ways because she's very much an open vessel for that. But I did find Jean-Luc Cano's perspective very interesting on that situation. I think it adds a lot more layered depth to the game as
Mhm.
well in terms of the story that they're telling because it is about that isolation thing, and I think like the way the endings are ended, I just find it interesting how people perceive endings because I don't think any of the endings are bad. Even you go to like Life is Strange 2 where Sean dies, like that's not a bad ending. That's also part of like the natural fitting conclusion of a story, potentially depending on which how you see it. So yeah, that's that. Anything else before we go into the other section as well?
No, it's just once again just proves the point that like intentionality was put into this game like from the very get go.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I love it as well for that. I think like again, still playing through this as well, so you get to see those great experiences from there. So a lot more in here as well. I think obviously, I think Michelle is not actually going to be included in this part. But they talk about here as well. I think we've talked about this so many times. Like Jean-Luc has talked about Stephen King and Michelle's talking about David Lynch. We've talked about
Mm.
this so many times in different podcasts and stuff. But I think this is the other part we're going to bring on here, and it's a big one as well. It's from Mr. Luc Baghadoust himself. And it says here the question where it says, as Lost Records is Steam Deck verified, are there any plans to bring the game to the Switch 2? And Luke said it, and I quote, "The Switch 2 looks awesome, as it looks like an awesome console, but sadly, there are no current plans to bring the game to it. As sad as
Mm.
I am that Lost Records isn't coming to Nintendo Switch 2, it still runs exceptionally well on Steam Deck and the best Steam Deck alternatives on the market. We're still waiting for a Tell Me Why Switch port as well, which I didn't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was actually a thing. Oh, was he? Oh, I
Yeah.
think was he just suggesting that he'd like that?
Yeah, we're still waiting for the for a so not the tell me why switch port, but like we're still waiting for a tell me why.
Oh,
So I guess like the language here is just like, yeah, we're still waiting for a tell which are we still waiting for that? It's a 5-year-old game almost at this point, right?
yeah,
It came out in
and Microsoft
2020.
exclusive as well.
Yeah. So that's weird. Like, is it are you saying like we're waiting for it to like go ahead? And at the same time, it's like I don't know anybody I love Tell Me Why.
Yeah,
No, no, no. Sorry. Tell Me Why came out in 2019, didn't
yeah, it
it?
came out. I think it came out. Ooh, was it after Twin Mirror?
Oh, I'm trying to remember because like I'm trying because I was doing Games Grocery at the time.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's
this is about
definitely
we
before
2020,
yeah. 20 it was 2020.
2020.
Okay. I, I didn't know we were waiting for that. So it's great. I hope it does come, but like that would be interesting. Like, that would be out of left field. Like, "Hey, like,
Mm.
guess what? The Switch port." So and even if it is a Switch port, right? Why not a Switch 2 port? I don't know.
Unless he's implying that he's waiting for a Tell Me Why Switch port, like he's hoping that it comes rather than it is coming, because he's probably assuming that the game's natural for that. But Tell Me Why did come
Mm.
out in 2020. It came out in the summer because then Twin Mirror came out after this, and Twin Mirror was their first published game that they did. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so yeah, sorry. So we're still waiting for Tell Me Why Switch port as well. So we'll just keep fingers crossed. Sorry, yeah, it was next sentence. So we'll just keep fingers crossed that one day everyone can experience Don't Nod Narratives journeys on the go. So it seems to suggest that I think he's suggesting that he'd like to see all the Don't Nod games on Switch, which I think would also make a lot of sense because they are built for Switch. Yeah, I mean, like, I do think that the Switch is a good audience for it. And I think that it would always benefit from it. Even any of the games that Don't Nod make would benefit from it, especially Lost Records. But like, the Switch 2 is egregious in price as well. Like, it's not going to be
Yes.
like, I mean, like the main one would have been to get it onto the Nintendo Switch 1 because it's a lot more bigger of an audience. But I know Michelle said that the memoir mechanic's never going to fit onto the Switch. And I'm still
Mm.
curious about how Nintendo Switch 2 games are going to run because Square Enix says it's going to bring Final Fantasy VII Remake to it, and
Yeah.
I am wondering how that's going to turn out because that is a big like okay. Like, I know the Switch 2 is beefing itself up, but I'm not. I just don't believe it until I see it. Like unless there's like a massive plug-in socket that you build into Switch 2 to get that running. I'm not
Yes.
too sure, but yeah, I think it's a shame that this wouldn't come to Switch 2. Maybe further down the line, there might be a way of them to do it. But I think, yeah, I think it's naturally to be expected that it's just not going to be able to hold it. The way that they built the game and the way it functions. Like, they had to leave last gen behind. And with Life is Strange 1, they put it on the last gen. Remember when they put PS4, Xbox, PC version out?
Yeah.
They put it on the last gen. And even Michelle talked about that during that scene when the lighthouse falls on Max. And he's like, we had to put that, we really worked to put that loading sequence, like, to get
Yes.
rid of that loading sequence in there. I think like it shows that the effort that they would go to get that to happen, they would make it happen. But no Switch 2, then no Switch by the looks of it.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Indeed, indeed. So I think we'll leave that. There are a lot of other things in that interview, but I don't think there's enough for us to carry on because we have got a lot of little things to talk about, but interesting nonetheless. Adam, I think this is going to be up your alley now,
Mm.
and I definitely included this because of you as well. So I've got it up here, as you can see on Twitter. I'm going to pull it up here. So Nat Walker, formerly of Chromatics, shared a video of his quote-unquote minimal synth solo from the instrumental bridge on Dreamers.
Mm.
Obviously, I'm muting it because of the music and we can't put it in there. So the track was composed for Don't Nod Montreal's Lost Records Boom Rage, with Nat reuniting with ex-Chromatic members Adam Miller and Ruth Radelet for it. As you can see in the video, if you are watching the video version, if you're watching listening, he's doing Adam things at the moment, where he's like got a keyboard and a switchboard, and obviously Adam will talk more about this because he's got a lot more
Those some piano
perspective.
fingers right there. Those are some serious. I got little sausage fingers, so those are piano
Yes.
fingers.
So, and also as well, he put a message out here as well, Nat Walker, and says, "Here's my minimal synth solo from the instrumental bridge on Dreamers, our theme that represents the friendship bond between main characters Swann, Kat, Autumn, and Nora in Lost Records Bloom Rage, floating above several layers of bells, pads, and strings,
Mm.
plus cascading guitars from Adam Miller and moody chords from Ruth Radelet, is a custom synth patch I created
Ooh,
on my
Behringer.
Behringer
Your
Deep."
mhm. Behringer DeepMind 12 synth running a Fender Full Moon distort. Oh, a full moon. Okay. I was like, I saw the Fender pedal. The full moon one. Those are some interesting pedals. I like them.
So yes, thank you for pulling that in. And then it says in the rest of the message, shown here are a few favorite moments from tape one where Dreamers is featured. The full OST is now available on Kid Katana. Link in the bio, and we'll come on to Kid Katana in a moment. So Adam, I'm going to play the video as well whilst you talk about it because all I see is like I love Nat Walker as well. Nat Walker is brilliant as well. Just to interact with and sharing things about Lost Records, but it all I see is fingers moving on keyboard and
Yes.
twisting little dial thing, and I was like, thank
Yes, and
God, Adam.
that's the full moon pedal right there. So that's a Fender distortion. So as we see here, the Fender distortion for those who are like little gearheads here. Z Gear expert says packed with brutal high gain distortion and endless sound shaping options with the Fender Full Moon, everything needs to be unreased. Overview designed by Fender's in-house team of experts. Full Moon distortion has an all original circuit. Fender consulted with Felthora, blah blah blah. The amp jewel LED pedal board, the LED black. What does it have? Growling, ultra flexible sound. It's like going into this like very. Oh, there we go. The 3-band EQ lets you dial into your stage of your sound. Oh, it's got a 3-band. That's nice. high treble control. So yeah, like it's basically so like what happens is like you're plugging in your synth into this distortion pedal, which if you're a guitar person, like you have your little guitar pedals down there. So it's the same thing. And so like he's going on a what kind of synth did he say it was? It's a Behringer.
Um,
Yeah, it's
Behringer
Behringer
DeepMind 12 synth.
DeepMind. So Behringer, interesting choice. Um yeah, interesting. DeepMind, right? So yeah, the DeepMind 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Behringer makes okay. So Behringer is kind of like very controversial in the synth position. A lot of people are just like, oh, they're fake or they make them really cheap.
Mm.
I'm on the camp. Behringer is fine. Behringer's great, and I'm sure Nat Walker here. He's using Behringer, so of course he's on the side of like, yeah, they're fine. Um, yeah, that's a crazy good combination. So yeah, with a lot of synth production, you're putting in a lot of pedals, putting in a lot of effects. I'm sure you know what he means by pads and strings, right? And bells.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the DeepMind 12, true analog 12 voice polyphonic. Oh, it's a polyphonic? Hell yes.
Can I
Ooh,
ask you a
that's great.
question for the
Yes.
layman? What is he doing there? So when he's putting, like, he's obviously playing the music, but then what's he doing with the dial?
So that dial, going back to that, so which dial is he actually going? So he's going for, yeah. So the dial he's touching right now is the level. So that's pretty much the mix of like how much of the distortion is going onto the synth of itself. So like as you're playing, you can mess with the level to like mess with how the distortion comes in, like kind of fades in.
Okay.
So and everything else. So he's got like a mid boost, very low gain. So all he's doing right now is like messing with how the actual sound is mixed like into the synth. So he's just like got that control on the level so he can like monitor how much mix of the distortion effect is going into the Behringer.
Right.
So he's going to a polyphonic, which is polyphonics are like the only synths you should be going for anyway. Um but no, like, yeah, he's doing great work, doing a lot of creativity, and, yeah, I am keeping my eye right now on the sorry, I'm, like, dream shopping in this Behringer, they're nice. They're actually pretty nice, actually. I've never actually looked at Behringer since, and they're pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I've got Nat
They are
Walker's approval, which is always a big plus. So
yeah.
um,
I'm
that's the
a
thing.
I'm a Arturia, slumdog, so, um, yeah, Behringers are nice. They're very nice. Again, if you go on Reddit, like, Behringer is just like, "Oh, it's so dumb, I hate Behringer." Shut up, dude. I mix my audio with Harbinger monitors, and people hate Harbinger. I don't know.
Mm,
Unless you're actually doing it actively, just just shut your mouth. But, like, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's just basically, like, messing with the levels so that the mix is
mm,
going into the synth in the right way, and then from there, he's just pressing the keys,
yeah.
and, looks like so I'm gonna show you what the synth actually looks like. Oh, nope, wrong page. I
Oh,
wanted
no,
to
so
yeah, that's just share screen. This one. Bam. So, getting a full breakdown of this. So, I see this screen right here.
yeah.
So that's where like all of your modulars are going to come in. Like, so when
Hmm.
you're saying like bells, pads, strings, most likely that's coming from here. And here's your polysynth on this side right here. So, um, envelopes, yeah, all that. So like that screen, you're gonna like be making all of your like customized sound on. So you're gonna be
Is
programming like different instruments so that you have your certain sound that's on yours, and then here's your, oscillators, oscillator 1 and 2,
mm.
your LFOs right here. So, yeah, that's what he's playing on right now, and
Is
that's
this the keyboard that, for example, Ross uses in Friends when he's making his music?
no, he's using a Casio, uh, I forget the model. No, he's using Casio on that
Okay.
one. Yeah, yeah.
I thought that's where you might
Yeah.
be getting the effects from and stuff.
Mhm.
No, that is very interesting because I had no idea what that was, and I was watching. I was like, "Ooh!" Like they've done a fantastic. Obviously, the former Chromatic members and Milk and Bone and Nora Kelly band have done a fantastic job on the soundtrack. But I was very curious about what he was doing on that because I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
Because I just said it that way. I was like, "This is amazing." I have no idea what you're doing, but it looks
Absolutely.
very impressive.
Now,
Um,
have you ever seen a modular synthesizer?
no,
Can I
does it
blow
look
your
like I have? Does it look like I have of all people?
modulars? So
Anything
modulars
music related comes from you. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I learn it.
so I'm gonna tell you something, modular synthesizers, and when I show you this image, this is actually a real thing that happens, and they terrify me, dude. Um, so real quick. Okay. So a modular synthesizer, as you can see from this image right here,
Oh,
that's all making sound. So you see all those wires within like
jeez.
the blinking lights. So those wires are connected to a certain other hole to like make a kick sound.
Yeah,
So one wire has to go to another wire to another hole to make sure that that sound is connected to this sound, and then you have all your dials here to like get the mix in to make it into a just a kick. And then you got your snares over here. Then you got um other sounds that are making arpeggio sounds. So
yeah,
yeah, modular synthesizers, they terrify me. But what he's doing is just a polyphonic synthesizer. So
right.
yeah, basically what he's doing.
It looks very cool. My toxic trait
Yes.
was thinking that I could do that piano. I'm like, yeah, I'm like Nat Walker, but I'm
I
definitely not
mean,
like that.
it looks scarier than it actually is, but all you're doing is just like you're going into the synth in of itself, the polyphonic, and you're just kind of messing with settings and messing with presets and just like making dials until you find the sound you want. And
Mm,
then you could. It's just kind of like messing around with sounds. But like modular synthesizers, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry. There's no way
mm.
you can do. I I would love to get my first modular synthesizers, but they terrify me, dude. It's
Yeah, I'm
scary
not that bored with all the keys looks like what Homer looks like when he's in his Sector 7G area of his station,
Yes.
and he like when he closes his eye and presses the button. It's like that's what I feel like. I'm not going anywhere near it, but obviously it's fascinating for Nat Walker, and I hope you all guys enjoyed that because Adam's giving his music
Yeah,
analysis on that because we need that. And Adam, speaking of music, should we continue because I think this could lead into the topics as well. Um,
absolutely.
which is obviously very gorgeous. So there's new photos from the upcoming vinyl from Don't Nod Montreal's Lost Records Bloomer Age. You get to see the new liner notes and also the poster that's in there. So Kid Katana has made this, as you can see here. It is the concert Bloomer Age. This is Sam Bradley's art, I believe it is, which looks amazing for a poster as well to be included in the vinyl. And then the liner notes, Adam, as well, as you can see there.
Mhm.
Ruth Radelet, Nora Kelly Band, Milk and Bone, Michelle Coe as well himself, the
Yes.
gaffer there. Music are all the little details mentioned. I'll come back to that in a moment. And obviously, Kid Katana is doing the distribution of this. They released a video, which it says there as well. So it says, so what's on that teenage punk post inside the Lost Records Bloom Rage 2 LP we kept under wraps. Time to lift the veil. You get brand concept art by Sam Bradley, of course. There he is, follows us. What a man, what a hero. Liner
Yes.
notes by Ruth Radlett, Milkbone, Nora Kelly Band, and Michelle Coe, and it's all available on their shop. So as you can see there, there's a video with two vinyls. Oh, they look gorgeous, and then all the other little details as well. So
Mm.
it does look amazing. And I'll go back to the big liner notes because I can I zoom in on this? Oh Jesus Christ! Trying.
Yeah.
Should we go for Michelle? What he said here.
Sure.
Um, Lost Records is a very personal project. I'm gonna try and zoom in a bit more. I can't zoom in it. It's a game about nostalgia, about time that is no more about what is lost, but also what remains. It's about reliving our past memories from a grown up perspective, with rose tinted glasses, a memory. Sometimes it's experiencing a memory is sometimes close to a lucid dream. Pictures and sounds still feel slightly off, different, and skewed by our perspective on. Oh, I'm going to struggle to read all this. It's very fine. Um, Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop because it's just I'm zooming in as much as humanly possible at the moment on my computer, and it's gonna thingy. But either way, we'll come back onto this because when we get it, we can pick apart and see what's actually said on here. But Adam, looks very nice, doesn't it, for a vinyl?
Yes, it does. Yeah, I like that. The color design. I love the color schemes of it, and that's the poster it comes with.
Yes, that is the poster that it comes with,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
pretty cool.
sweet. Sam
Yes.
Bradley magic, as you can tell, and then obviously as he's liner notes with each of the artists, Michelle giving a bit of details as well, and then even in the video as well. Actually, I think the actual vinyls look gorgeous as well, just the designs of
Yeah.
them, which should be shown at the end as it is here. It says pre-orders are available on Kid Katana, and you have a blue and a pink, which is beautiful. Very much looking forward to this arriving and picking it up. But yeah, some really cool details there. Um,
Yes. And you can also get it on. So I do want to share this as well.
yes.
Um, doo-doo-doo-doo. Hold on 1 second. Lost
What is he doing?
records. Bloom and Rage. So if you actually go onto the Bandcamp in of itself,
Mm,
I'm making sure that you can. Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to share this screen as well.
yes.
Just people's eyes onto it. So if you go onto the Bandcamp site in of itself, right here, this is on Bandcamp. You search up Kikitana, you search up Lost Records, and you can pre-order this estimated June 25th. Shipping out around. Okay, but yes, okay, buy vinyl. Boom, you can. And what you get from there, you get the whole vinyl, you get the gatefold art, but you also get the digital code as well. So you get the record and the digital album. So if you want
Woo.
to get it through Bandcamp, that is also an option. So if you want the digital album as well, it is also available on Bandcamp. So you can pre-order it from there as well.
I saw Nat Walker promoting his music on Bandcamp recently as well,
Yes.
which I think you'll
Buy your
definitely improve,
music
obviously.
on Bandcamp. Like, please do. Just this past Friday was Bandcamp Fridays. Keep out for Bandcamp Fridays because that's the direct way how you can like support an artist. So, um, yeah, no, all like buy from Bandcamp. Always buy from or buy directly from the website here from Katana. So,
Yeah.
um, it just supports. But again,
Which
I want to point out Bandcamp because you can get the digital album as well through Bandcamp.
mhm. Which you would recommend anyway because you bought the Jusant vinyl. I know that you love that as well. So
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
it's worth the money. So I'm looking very much forward to picking that up. And when it comes, it's going to be amazing. That post, Sam Bradley's just unbelievable. I love Edward Kaplan, but I love Sam Bradley's work as well on this game. It's unbelievable. Um, so Adam, should we go into our next piece? A very small one, just to mention as well here. And
Yes.
they will come back as well. So Kelly Recco has left Don't Nod Montreal. They were
Mm,
the 3D artist and on free artist and material artist on Don't Nod Montreal's Lost Records Bloom Rage. They put here on X on the 29th of April, last day at Don't Nod Montreal. Grateful for the journey and everything I've learned. Proud to have contributed to Lost Records Bloom Rage. Thanks to everyone I've crossed paths with. Can't wait to share what's next. So that is Kelly Recco's post, and best luck to you, Kelly, on your next journey. And thank you so much for the incredible work that you have done on this game because we all very much deeply appreciated it. Um, Now, I think I've just missed one of the pieces out, Adam. So I'm going to pull it back up because it has been all over the place. Because I think this is actually yeah, okay. So I'm going to pull this back up. For some reason, I didn't include it in there. So we'll go into our next piece of news as well, which is an extension of some other little bits that we've done recently and kind of bounces off of what we've recently done. So as you can
yes.
see here, our lovely interview with Olivia Lepore. We've been tweeting clips out for people. And we tweet out about the rabbit stories about Pebbles and Marbles being in Lost Records Boom Rage. Nice little bit of info from Olivia. And then Juliette has responded to us as well. Juliette Devillers, who is lead character artist, I'm sure. I think I got that
Mhm.
right. Am I right about that? Did I put in the notes? Yeah, I did
I
lead
think
character
you are.
artist.
Yeah.
Yes, it's lead character artist. So Juliet's lead character artist at Donna Montreal and at, on Let's Rock Bloom Rage. I think I think she also did the facial animations as well,
Mm.
or in that capacity. But Juliette responded saying there, I remember Olivia visiting the office. She looked at our screens. I was working on Swann's jacket with a bunny pin. Olivia told us she has bunnies and how much she loves them. We knew what shirts we wanted to design for her. Ricardo did an amazing job of all the variants, and I believe Ricardo is on their team and is in the credits. I can't remember exactly what the role was. I need to look that up. And we just responded to Juliette, and then Juliette responded saying, that's usually my go-to, which is Pebbles and Marbles top. She put Moth Girl and Tape 2 is too good to pass. Thank you for the encouraging words and great podcast. So thank you so much for that, Juliette. It means a lot to us. So just a little bit extra details there, Adam, on Pebbles and Marbles' rise to fame, obviously, because that was a really great story from the interview. And let me just quickly pull this up because I'm trying to find it. So it's Ricardo. I'm gonna pull this up because I might as well, because we mentioned it in that as well,
Yes.
just for the details. So as you can see here, which I use all the time, Moby Games credits, it's Ricardo, Arturo, Madegra, Amaro, who is the character artist and worked with obviously under Juliette, where Juliette's the lead character artist on Don't Nod Montreal's Lost Records Boom Rage. So a little bit of detail for that. And yeah, we thank you again very much for the lovely words, Juliette, and for making an incredible game, and also for
Yes.
putting Olivia's rabbits into the game as well, which we also loved as
Nice.
well. By the way, as well, during that interview, because some people even mentioned it, and I'm really happy some people mentioned it. They were like, "Am I going crazy, or am I seeing Swann Holloway appear during the interview?" And she was 100% unconsciously becoming. There's
Yes.
genuinely like moments you watch. I was watching this interview and I was like thinking, yeah, I was like, Swann has just emerged here out of nowhere, and she's just doing it unconsciously. There's actually a little detail I haven't mentioned to people. There's a moment as well in the recording that we didn't include afterwards where Olivia is so happy as well. She lifts her phone up slowly to take a photo of us all doing the recording, and it's so
Yes.
Swann Holloway. I was like, oh my god, I adore you. So I
Yep.
absolutely adore the energy. She's oh my god. I was close to canceling the podcast when she disappeared off. I was like, right, we like
Mhm.
we're never gonna we've hit peak with Lepore.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm so happy that she came on. But yeah, should we go into our next piece of news? It's a very short one as well.
Yes. Let's do it.
So, Adam, as you can see there, Tape 2, patch
Mm.
2.01 is now live on all platforms. Fixed a lot of bugs and crashes, including multiple progressions and achievement fixes, memory videos, management fixes, performance improvements, and the full patch notes are there. Just to add on to this as well, Etienne Brassard, who is, I think, principal VFX artist, put as well, one additional thing, if you find a certain sequence too flashy, disabling flashing lights now toggles off a couple more flashing elements. Hopefully, this can reduce strain for certain people, which is a very, very nice touch. And we
As
100%
someone who
love
has
that.
a history of epilepsy, I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, 100. Like it's such that's like with all the stuff that they've done on this game as it is, it's remarkable. And as you can see here as well, we're going to pull it up here. It should hopefully load up the next page. Has it loaded up? Yes, it has. So as you can see, continuing to keep supporting the game as they are. Don't Nod, and they're fixing a lot of things in here, which is like that. You got your achievement fixes for a lot of people who might want to know that. Crash fixes, general fixes as well on top of that. Performance improvements, game flow. So quite a lot of stuff as well. And I think actually there might be one that's interesting. Yeah, Adam, have you seen this as well? I picked this up. So fix
Mm.
some car license plates inaccuracies in regards to state regulations in the 95 era.
Huh. Huh.
You
Okay.
cannot say anything about the detail that these guys go to make their games
Yeah.
like as authentic as
States
possible, because
regulations. That's funny. Yeah. Huh.
most developers would be like, okay, cool, we'll just leave it and whatever. But they've actually gone out of their way to go and fix that, where it's like fixing the car license plates because it's like just to make it more accurate. Because I think Michelle talked about, I think we're like, I can't remember the full tweet. So that Michelle tweeted about it when Tape 1 came out, and when you can dial phone numbers and stuff. People were like, I
Yes.
think it's not the area code or something in that area. And it's like, he's like, but we had to intentionally change it because we can't do that for the game. Because obviously, imagine if your numbers on the game, it's like, you know,
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
but no, very, very cool to see all the support and all the updates. There's a lot of stuff in that we're not going to go through, but I'm glad that they keep supporting this game, and I hope that for new players that come to it in the eventuality, I think you're going to have a lot much better of experience. Obviously, the PS5 has its own issues in parts, but I think as long as they keep refining and supporting this, especially when you get to the summer release with physical, I think that might actually really help this game as well. But I just love the support as well. I love that Don't Nod is continuing to support the game, making sure that everything is fixed and refined, and trying to do the extra legwork amid, the next
Yeah.
things that they're working on.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. So, better patch notes than other patch notes that we've reported on in this podcast before. Well,
Which we
not this
haven't heard about this
podcast.
year. We've
Yeah.
not even.
Yeah.
I think the support is dead now on that.
I think it's over. Yeah, if you don't know, we're talking about the patch notes for the Arcadia Bay collection, the remasters. So those
Oh
were
dear.
those are some serious patch notes. So, like every week we had a patch note to go over. So yeah, these ones are they're good, really good.
Yeah, some interesting stories about that remastered collection. Maybe one day, but like Jesus, can't believe
Yeah,
it. Anyway, Adam, should we go on to our next piece of news?
absolutely.
There we go. Now we've got the
Yes.
vibe here. So we go into Marion Esquian, who's put here. She is the principal level designer and game designer on Life is Strange, on Lost Records Bloom and Rage. She posted on the 28th of April, posting classic credits screenshots to celebrate that I've been working on at Don't Nod Montreal for 4 years now. I've been working on Lost Records Bloom and Rage for 4 years. I've learned a lot, got to work with an amazing team full of talented people. Um, it wasn't always easy, and I know everything is never perfect, but I'm always proud of what we achieved. I know our game isn't for everyone, and that's completely fine, but I do hope that the people we made it for will enjoy it, and we see all the work and love we put into it. I'm grateful to be part of this. Which, like, because like we usually like it's usually like Luke or Michelle or someone who's like the higher management team legend, the people that like on that higher end of like the creative team that are always popping up.
Mm,
I just love how humble they are about everything. And it's
yeah,
always that kind of like admission, like, it might not be perfect, which is fine because that's every video game. Like, name me a perfect video game aside from Metal Gear Solid, but that's a different story. Name me a
yeah,
perfect video game, doesn't exist. And then on top of that, as well, to know that the game isn't for everyone, which it's not, because it's not built like that. Because some people, especially in this climate, as we just talked about in the last one of the other episodes, like Strange Cast about the woke comments and stuff, it's not for everyone, but it appeals for a lot of people, and it's found its audience, which is good, and hopefully it'll keep finding an audience. I just love how humble they are, and for her to put 4 years of work in is amazing to see, along with obviously every other developer that's worked on this project.
yeah. No, it's one of those things like, hey, you put out a game, you put out something that a lot of people say they're gonna do, but they never do. I even think about music that I put out, and the amount of I'm not gonna call anybody out, but the amount of people that I talk to, like, man, I really wish I could just put out music. And I'll tell them how, and they just never do. At
Mm,
least I'm doing it. I My music might not be for everybody, but I'm proud that I'm doing it. Same thing for these folks. Like there's so many people that say like, I want to make a game someday. I want to do it. They did it.
yeah,
Whether or not this game gets any serious like mainstream recognition, guess what? They put out a game. Did you put out a game? No, but they did. So they're absolutely proud of it. So good on them. Sh- shoot your shots and tell people like, hey, I'm better than you. Stomp on their dreams.
absolutely. Well, in itself as well, like to set up the studio and to be a 4 year project to finally get things rolling, and as an independent entity away from like publishers and trying to do it on your own and trying to get people to buy
Yeah.
the game, and a new brand, a new IP in a very stagnating and ruthless industry. I know that you tweeted the Alana Pierce interview clip, the video that she did, and I watched that. I agreed with a lot of it. I also didn't agree with certain parts of it, but generally speaking, she was very much like right about that's why the
Mhm.
stagnation of the video game industry has happened in like a ruthless fashion. But just to see like all the
Yeah.
different developers.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you
sorry.
haven't yet, no, like if you haven't yet watched Alana Pierce's video about why the video game market might crash, like you said, there's some things in it like it's speculation.
Yeah,
But she has been in the industry and she has talked to investors, so, like, she has that educated guess, and a lot of things I'm like, "Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." Oh, the TikTok thing, I didn't even think about. Like, she's I agree with that part. Like, it is taking attention away from a lot of things, including playing Lost Records because Lost Records is it's a slower build, which again, going back to Marion's going back to what she said, saying that like it's not gonna be for everybody. It's a
Yeah,
slow game. It's a slow game. And with TikTok being just like fast speed like content, it's not gonna be for everybody because of social media.
yeah.
Um, so I don't 100% agree with Alana on that, but like I see where that's coming from.
Yeah, I agree with certain parts of what she's saying because, like, I agree with the fact that she said, like, with the TikTok comment, people will get fed content, obviously, that isn't regulated.
Mhm.
Like, you get fed any kind of content you want to cater for, and you will get distracted. People's attention span has been brought down. I think you even said that they've now built like TV shows where it's like, so they have in mind
Second
someone's
screen.
using a device. Yeah, which is like
Yeah.
it's such an awful sign, and that's why you have people like
Isn't
when they
that
call,
Can we just sit on that for a hot second? They're making content on Netflix intentionally so that you second screen it.
yeah,
Like,
but what?
that
Why
is
do you?
so dystopian.
Yeah. Why do you think people like Ridley Scott get annoyed? People will call
Yeah,
him a dinosaur and stuff, but he's like so spot on. He's like, well, if you can't watch a 3 hour film, don't watch it. And it's the same with
yeah.
Scorsese and when they're like really deeply critical of like the Marvel advancement, the Disney advancement, because it has dumbed down the audience a lot. It has like set an expectation. Like even I would say, and I know some people will disagree with this, even the reaction of people being like, tape free, need a sequel. It's like these people need time
Yeah,
to recharge their
to make
batteries, get things back on order, and then also project forward because is tape free even part of their plans? We know it's a series. Is it an anthology? Is it direct sequel? All kinds of things that are still open at the minute. But and when people are like, we need a sequel, and oh, it might be 2027, I'm fine with that. These people are still
yeah,
human and they need time to kind of recharge, get their creative juices flowing again, and then get on the project because it's going to be time for that. And they need then, and I think there's learning lessons in the project as well that they need to do. I think again, very very clear cut reflection from Marion, and you can't expect
mm,
anything better for a developer to understand that. Luke has been like that with you, but Life is Strange too, where he said like,
mhm,
you don't have to enjoy it if you don't want to. Like that's fine.
yeah,
Even though you are a hater of that, but we've converted you. Anyway, but no, it's truthful, and it's the nice thing to see with like independent developers who understand what they're doing, what they're working on, and that's always the most wholesome thing. And with Alana's thing as well, I agree with her. I think the market will crash, but I think in a different way because
in a
one thing
different
you
way.
said, yeah, one thing you said there as well, what investors wanted, and this happened obviously with GTA getting delayed as well.
Yeah,
GTA got delayed and Take Two stock fell. So it was like I think it was like 235 or something the day before on the close, and it
mhm.
fell to about 190. So it dropped
Oof,
massively.
yeah,
And I thought it'd drop even further. I thought we were going to go down to low hundreds at this point because I knew that we're
yeah,
now a year away from it. It bounced back in the in trade and it went back over to $200. I don't know what it closed on specifically, but I remember at one point it was at 224. So it had already like only just dropped a little bit from where its top peak was. And that's because investors, like Ilana says in the video, are already expecting this game to be laced with microtransactions and to be profitable for like 10
mhm,
years plus, because that's what Rockstar's doing with this game. This game will be in existence for 10 years. I don't think you'll see another GTA. I think
mhm.
we'll be in our 50s when another GTA comes out. I genuinely do think that. You can't even underestimate it. It's been 10, no, it's 12 years, isn't it? Since GTA 3.
So,
It's
IGN
13,
also
5.
did the math that the time in between GTA 5 and GTA 6, it will be a longer gap than San Andreas's look at 1992 with its 2004
Jesus
release.
Christ. Oh,
Isn't
God.
that wild, dude? Like, so 2004, you're like, oh, remember 1992? But the gap between 5 and 6 is a longer gap than
Yeah,
1992 and 2004. It will be a 13-year gap. 13 years. Yes, 13.
that's wild. And
Isn't
you
that?
have to think about it as well. Rockstar might not even make another GTA for a while because they might make another Red Dead game or something like that. So it's like there's no
Yes.
guarantee that another GTA game gets in development. And they are going to lace the hell out of GTA Online because that is just going to be money to take to. And as Alana's pointed out, that's why money has gone into different companies. So like the Saudi investment fund has invested in Nintendo for a while. That's why
Mm,
EA stock goes through the roof because these are the companies that are lucrative because they have an ability to keep that trend going of microtransactions. Lost Records doesn't have that. You got your free cat content. And any other
mm,
publisher, any other publisher, that content would have been monetized.
yeah.
Absolutely. I put
Mhm.
30, I even paid for this after we got the review code. I paid 30 British pounds ish, around about that price, for Lost Records. When I load that game up, all the content is there. Nothing is locked behind paywall. I have double exposure on my shelf over there. I go and pick that up and put it in. outfits are locked. There's an in-game advert for it as well to
Yeah.
buy more content. I'm like, where was my gaming industry 20 years ago when I used to
Yeah.
get everything on the disc and it was free? It will crash. It'll crash, but it'll
Yes.
crash in a different way. And I think it's going to be quite catastrophic for the gaming industry. I think it's going to be
I was talking
really
to
bad for
my
them.
I was talking to my wife about this. I think that again, for me, that like, hey, I don't want it to crash because I want to be a video game composer, so I hope it doesn't crash. Um, I think we're gonna see not necessarily a crash, but a resurgence. I think the
Yeah,
AAA market is going to crash, but I think the indie game development is going to become a resurgence and they're
yeah.
going to become profitable. We're already seeing it that like these indie games are like getting more of the mainstream attention, i.e. Balatro, right? I.e.
Electro.
Yeah, Balatro. We have Animal Well. Animal Well got like its certain claim to fame. So
Blueprints.
even Lost Records. What's that?
Blueprints.
Blueprints. I think we're going to see a resurgence in the video game industry. I think AAA like Ubisoft, Take Two.
Yeah.
No, Take Two is going to last forever, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
So to keep Rockstar,
yeah.
they're fine with that. Um,
Depending on Elder Scrolls, Bethesda. I think AAA is going to like die off, and then I think we're going to see a resurgence with indies.
we've seen it with Microsoft putting the prices up on old consoles and then also with the game
God.
prices. Well, like, do you know
Oh,
what
I don't even want to get into that, dude. So
okay,
dumb.
can I make that conversation with you? Because I think everything you said was right, and I will make the argument that when you said all those games, for example, like Balatro, even like Blueprints, Lost Records, I would make the argument that these are the games that would have been released 15 years ago on these
Yeah.
consoles as single player story games. But because the AAA market has evolved into this live service, the marketing demanding this kind of thing, the Jim Ryan era, the Phil Spencer current era at the minute, they've
Mm.
ostracized all these independent developers and creatives where these are the projects that they'd want to have. So, for example, like Life is Strange would never exist in this market now. If Square Enix
Um,
would never roll the dice with a game like that, they might roll it with Forspoken, but you saw how much disaster that was. Like they would never roll the dice with Life is Strange. Life is Strange would have to be an indie
which
game
did
now.
you know Gary Whitta was a part of Forspoken?
Yeah,
I was like, What?" Like, his
yeah.
name is on Forspoken, so
Wow,
that's
man.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
Shame.
but again, like that game is just not even talked about. It doesn't even have like a big fan base. It's just like commercially flopped. There are all kinds
Mm,
of issues with, but like that's the issue we have with the game industry. So it's like games like Lost Records would have been like lapped up by companies years ago. Like imagine
yeah.
Telltale trying to make The Walking Dead now. Someone would be like, no one's gonna buy that. And then and in its peak height of like popularity, like my god, like everyone who's worked on
Imagine
it.
Telltale trying to make a second Wolf Among Us, you know?
Yeah,
Imagine that.
I think that's why you can see why they're struggling to do that as well. You can see like the difficulties with it. And I think as long as Don't Nod sustains itself and keeps in line with what it's doing, maybe it can like have research. Because the one thing that we missed off the other video, which I should drop on the 3rd of May, even talking about like, the sales and the PS Plus numbers as well. People are enjoying this game, and it's
Mm,
arguably Don't Nod's biggest success since Life is Strange and Vampire,
mm,
because now this will appear in the backlog of its catalogs, and it's actually not something where Oscar Gilbert is going to be like later on down the line, let's write down the assets, because it's like actually it's met sales lines of expectations. How can we further that? Which is the main
yeah,
thing. So as we've always said, support your independent developers. Go and support people like Marion and go and follow their works as well. You can see them all online, which is amazing. And these are people that I like. You should connect with. I love Michelle, man. Michelle's always on Twitter. You'll always interact with people, and it's just so amazing to see that because that's something that's just like lost now in the industry because developers are absolutely getting hammered by publishers, being like, "Don't make that, and don't do that, and don't go on this
yeah.
podcast, or don't do this interview." It's like they're constantly like he's just constantly engaging with people, which is always a lovely thing to
Publishers
see.
and fans, dude. Like, these developers are getting hammered, like, from both directions, from the
Yeah,
fans, from the publishers. It's just like, dog, like, y'all need to, like,
chill.
y'all as in humankind, chill. Just play
Yeah.
games, get an iPod, just relax, dude. Holy cow. Yeah.
Goddamn, the iPod. So yeah, we got that. So Adam, should we move into our next piece as well? This is just a couple of shout outs as well.
Yes.
So obviously we mentioned Kelly Recco before as well. Kelly Recco has tweeted her portfolio with all her work. So there's two parts here, I believe it is as well. I think there's another tweet underneath. Yeah, so you can go and check these out on ArtStation. It's really nice at the moment because developers are tweeting stuff. So again, here is Emil Molina, who is an environment artist, I believe. Environment
Mm,
artist, yes, underneath there. No, material artist. Sorry,
yes.
material artist at Don't Know Entertainment. helped work on the project with Don't Nod Montreal. As you can see, the details all available again on ArtStation. So we're just giving a shout out to the developers because they are independent. And then one more quickly as well before we move on to that next. Oh, actually, there's two more. Actually, hang up. So
Yes.
as you can see here as well on Instagram, we have even more stuff as well. Again, ArtStation followers available. So there's Joyce Silva, who is environment artist at Don't Know Montreal as well, who's shared her portfolio as well there, which is amazing. As you can see, it's just cool to see all the different arts that she's worked on and whatever else in between it. Like, gorgeous. You played the game.
Pumpkin. Yeah.
Pumpkin. That's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm okay, Joyce. Maybe that's get rid of that one. It has to
Pumpkin
be.
light.
It
Let's
has to be
go.
Shadow. It has to be Shadow. Even Olivia Lepore established that canon choice is Shadow after I pushed her in that direction. Um, so again, you see incredible stuff from there, and one more as well quickly because he is the legend himself, and I should bring him up here. And he's posted another one, and obviously Sam Bradley as well. Go and follow Sam Bradley. He's on Blue Sky. I don't even post on Twitter, but he's on Blue Sky. He's on Instagram, still tweeting and posting about the different concept art that he made on this game. And obviously, as you can see, there's Max Caulfield in the forest with the other
Yes.
days, which is amazing. Yeah, it's just so cool. Like his art is gorgeous, so definitely go and check it out. And that was a very cool scene as it is. So I think we are almost at the finish line, Adam, of our little topics. Then just a little couple of things, and we are done here. So yes, last pieces quickly, and then we will move on. And obviously, we have a strange cast to record. So if you're wondering why it's not as long, yeah, back to back podcast. So Adam, as obviously as well, 4 days ago we're recording the 3rd of May, as I said, but it's Ruth Radelet's birthday in the week that we're recording. Amazing. It's nice to have had her involved in Lost Records Bloom Rage. So shout out to Ruth Radelet for
Yes.
playing her, for making her music with Adam Miller and Nat Walker on this game. And then finally, as well, just one more from Ruth Radelet as well. And I'm going to pull it up here. As you can see here, Ruth Radelet and Adam Miller both played at the Vale at the Lodge Room Highland Park in Los Angeles. And they both played the Vale, which they made alongside Nat Walker on that. So that is very
Nice.
exciting and very cool to see as well, to see that Lost Records music is being made in there. And also she's playing an upcoming tour in Portland, Ruth Radelet, and the player
Wow.
one versus the player one versus the world Instagram account, whoever runs that maybe, did post saying, could we see more Lost Records music being played there? And Ruth Radelet liked the comment. So it's like options available there. If I was in there, I'd be like, Kid Katana, send me my record as soon as possible so I can go and get it signed by Ruth Radelet. That'd be very
Yeah.
cool. That'd be
That'd be
amazing to have.
great.
Yeah, you send this your vinyl will be stonks in value. That's what's going to happen. So yes, we are done here. So Adam, I believe we are just near the end now as well. Yes, so it's on Rage Records as well. So we are. This is a bit of a different one. I didn't really actually talk to you about it before, but so this is a kind of like a Rage Records to everyone. We didn't really specifically pick someone out because obviously we put Olivia Lepore's interview out with us at a podcast chat, and then we put out review the reviews. But technically,
I
review the
hate
reviews was
that username and I hate that profile picture.
which one?
The one you're gonna shout out.
Why
So
you
it's so weird.
you leave
I
King Yeehaw alone?
kingyeehaw. And it's Bart Simpson with his all eyes out.
That's great. What's yours? What's I might have to send you to Abyss for this. What's wrong with King Yeehaw?
I hate that. I just hate it. I
Why
I I don't know. I just
are
hate
you
it.
not
I just
yeehawing today?
no. I don't like
Why?
that at all. I imagine this isn't a real person. It's just a sleep paralysis demon coming in King Yeehaw.
I'll defend you to the hill and back King Yeehaw. But this is technically a Rage Record segment to all of you, and it's more about the incredible comments we got on the episode with Olivia Lepore. That was a really important interview for us to do. We specifically formatted the way that we did because we wanted to tell Olivia's story more than just Lost Records and Don't Know Montreal. And also, Swann Holloway, we were very keen to tell her story, and it was very important for us to do that. So we even cut out other things that we could talk about the game because it was really important to kind of show visibility on hers. And we were really touched by all the comments. We've read all the comments, so thank you so much. Obviously, here we have Alex. I absolutely love this interview a lot. Smiling from ear to ear, smiling from ear to ear from start to finish. Olivia's a treasure. She's so charismatic and funny. I would love to hear the other VAs or even have them all together. DJ Howard, obviously, thank you as well. Brilliant interview. Olivia is wonderful and lovely. King Yeehaw, Adams. Adam's biggest fan here. Um, King Yeehaw said as well, this was a great interview. It was so nice to hear from Olivia. Also, thinking on the topic of Taylor Swift and Swann, I think Seven is very her and Lost Records coded in general.
Hmm.
Adam, what
Okay.
do you think of that?
What album is that from again? 7.
It's from
Uh,
Folklore, I think. I think it's from
yes.
Folklore.
I'm pretty. Yeah.
It's not
I'm
even
trying to
one.
remember. Like 7.
If I get Folklore
Yes.
right, Olivia's
Yeah.
going to be very proud of me.
I'm just looking at the lyrics right now, just to, like, get the song in my head. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Are you going to
Yeah.
apologize?
No. Still no.
I think you should apologize.
Um. So I want to read this one lyric here. And I've been meaning to tell you, I think your house is haunted. Your dad is always mad, and this must be why. And I think you
Swan
should
coded.
come to, yeah, and I think you should come to live with me, and we can be pirates. Then you won't have to cry or hide in the closet. And just like a folk song, our love will be passed on. Boom.
Uh,
That's yeah. Yeah, fair. That's a fair one. Yes, absolutely.
I think you should
You're still
apologize.
you're still a sleep paralysis demon, kingyeehaw. Please don't visit me in my sleep, but good call. Yeah, good take.
No, very good take. And for King Yeehaw, I will also give you a bit of tea as well. Olivia Lepore fully approved of that as well. I
Yes.
believe her exact words were, "OMG, I love that." So that is a
Yes.
personal exclusive for you there, because we did pass that on to her. So, thingy, but also as well, Adam as well on the interview. Again, this is to all of you guys as well. Thank you so much. Obviously, Luke as well. There, thank you so much for the comments. It was just amazing to see 99.9% of the comments as well, and the amazing feedback we got from people, and it was just really nice to get different perspectives from different people and just a couple of people as well. So we have Sahil, I'm going to say with a 5, the username. Um, the comment says, well, this is an amazing interview. Olivia Lepore fit right into the podcast. If you told me Olivia was a third co-host, I would totally believe it. Great questions, Adnan and Adam, and wonderfully answered by Olivia. As someone not a fan of the cliffhanger ending, I think Olivia captured my feelings perfectly. "Quote unquote," they want more answers, which I think another game could provide. End quote. Yes, this, and I hope we get to see Swann again and Kat, of course. Not sure how Autumn and Nora would return, as their presence was choice dependent. I think Olivia interpreted the term sequel baiting in the way I was meaning. Looking forward to seeing that Lost Records tattoo Olivia gets, and I'm sure it'll be covered on this podcast. A really good discussion on health and disability as well. Great episode. Really enjoyed this. So thank you again, and just amazing comments. We're just pulling a couple out as we can. So it's very much aimed at all of you. And as well, we have, just double check that, Sky 8907 as well. It says, what a lovely, pleasant woman. Olivia is a very sweet and friendly person. It felt like they were talking to Swan herself. We were talking to Swan herself, quite literally.
Yes.
I congratulate them on the natural way they conduct the conversation and the questions. The comfort is evident in every question and answer. I also felt like they spoke about illness and personal experience with such respect, but also as something normal, something that must be dealt with. And just as Olivia did, I also like the detail of not wanting to reveal which girl she danced with. Haha, I love that mystery. Everything is great. And I hope Olivia will come back someday because it was a true pleasure to listen to her. And then I think there's a couple more as well. And there's one that I
Well,
definitely
one
want to
question
put.
I have, if you go up a little bit more,
Yes. Where am I going?
um, yeah, going back to Sky's comments real quick.
Yes.
So the question I have: will Adam be able to eat 180 oysters on Man versus Food? Adnan, will he be able to?
Yeah, he does actually eat that one. I watched that.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you for
Cool.
spotting the random like stuff that I've been watching on my on the Player One vs. the World channel at times.
This
Um,
is-
Honestly, this is the worst part when I pull it up because it's like it could be anything. Like anything comes up as a suggestion. It's like you probably think like thinking like, why is he watching like the Godfather clips have literally come up because I've been like watching clips of it. I'm like, this is an incredible film. Um,
yes.
and then one more as well, Adam, because I think this one is also very good as well, which is No Man's Land. They're all good comments actually. Well, majority of them. As well, No Man's Land 98 says, really great game, and Olivia did an amazing job. Was awesome to hear a perspective on how she copes with Crohn's disease, as I also suffer from Crohn's disease, and it's always comforting hearing from other Crohn's sufferers, as we are the only ones who know what we are going through. FY, I think the steroids she was thinking of in this interview is Predi- prednisol- pred- prednisolone. Mess that up anyway.
Yeah.
Which yes makes you have a more puffy face as I've gone through that. So again, all really lovely comments from everyone, and thank you so much for that. And again, like Becky as well here as well, Bex Cozy Corner, who post about their disability and what they've gone through, and it was just really nice comments. So thank you again, guys, for this. It was really amazing to see that as well, and we really appreciate it. So I think we'd kind of dedicate this section to all of you as well for the amazing comments, and it was really, really wonderful to have you all here, chatting away and doing your stuff and whatnot. So we're forever grateful. Look at this guy, Adam again. No,
Yes.
you're not coming back in the
Yeah.
segment, Kevin.
KJL Kevin.
Yeah, you're not having that. Swan emoji ain't going to get you back in here. So you're going
I'd
to be
rather
cut
hang
out of
out
here.
with King Yeehaw than KJL Kevin.
Wow. anyway, leave that. But yeah, thank you so much for the comments. They were really lovely, and we were really touched to tell Olivia's story. And it was very important for us to do that. And she was very comfortable talking to us about it, which, we've kind of shared posts about what she's gone through. And, we were very respectful and told her about it beforehand, because that's our story we wanted to tell, which is her story. And for her to tell it in a very meaningful way, and it was just nice to see as well. And I really, really enjoyed that interview, and I did say as well on Twitter at one point, I think it's the best interview we've ever done together as well. And I love all the interviews we've done together, but I think that was just done in the best format possible, and I was really happy with how it turned out. So hopefully one day we'll have Olivia back on. I'm sure we'll cross paths again. We were very, very excited to have her on here, and it was just amazing to kind of tell that story and see what her perspectives are. And I really enjoyed the fact that when we were recording it, we went from her being Cat initially to becoming more and more like Swann in every moment of that podcast. It's so subconscious as well. I'm like, amazing. Yeah. So I wish her nothing but the best, and strength to strengthen her career. And I'm sure we'll see her again on here. So yeah, I think that's that. So Adam, do we have any other business to attend to, or are we signing off here?
Signing off here.
Okay, I think that is us done then. And yes, thank you so much for joining us, because it was another exciting episode. So yeah, stay tuned. This will be a double header week that you get this. This will have the Lost Records Journal and Strange Cast, and then I think we'll be getting back onto Lost Records Journal, barring some Life is Strange unexpected news or something happening. And we'll be back as well. And as always as well, we said that Rage Records is essentially a comment of the day section, but also as well theories as well, and any conversations about the game as well. If you do want to include anything, just let us know and we'll cover it, because I think we will start getting to the stuff about sequel baiting and where we go next and other things as well, because I think there's a lot for us to talk about going forward. Where are you up to in Lost Records, by the way, now?
What do you mean?
Are you on your second playthrough?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? I've beaten it. So yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah, you haven't finished it. Yeah, I'm still like I'm nearing my end of my second playthrough, and I'm just in itself. I wish, for me at the moment, it's the age and time. I just have to play it at my own pace now. Like I would have gone through this like 5 or 6 times with Life is Strange, but I just don't have time amid running this and doing all the other stuff. So I'm still playing through it, but no, I'm picking up on little things, and there's some wild moments as well. I've seen other clips where people are seeing things that haven't been seen before. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, where's that come from? But yeah, either way, I think we'll wrap up here. As always, if you did enjoy this episode, even if you didn't like the video, share with your friends, subscribe. We're almost at 1,900 subscribers. If you don't, boom, you're going to go in there. That's what's going to happen. You get pushed in. Not even anything else with that. I don't even need to change it now. That's what's going to happen. You go into the hole, and you won't. You might turn up for the sequel, maybe. But yeah, like the video, share your friends, subscribe, turn notifications. You can watch all the content we do. We keep up to date with all Lost Records content. Don't Nod Montreal. We have Strange Cast, the sister podcast, so you can go and check that out on Spotify as well. And again, Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything. Go and please rate us as well, and also as well follow us, because you get instant access to your episodes and you help boost our visibility to other people. So thank you so much for joining us again one more time. It was really, really appreciate the comments we got on the Olivia podcast. It was very touching for us. It was very touching for Olivia. Olivia has seen your comments. She's seen the Twitter posts and stuff. So it's just amazing for her to see that as well. And she deserves all the recognition in the world for that as well. So stay tuned. I don't know what the schedule is going to be like, barring the 2 podcasts, but we'll be back in some way, shape, or form. Until next time, see you later. Bye.